and also the eastern half of Jefferson County. It's a guarantee over towards southwest Louisiana at this point. As far as hurricane warnings, mainly off towards our south and east, and the chances that we will see hurricane force winds. These are probabilities released from the Hurricane Center, and it shows mainly over towards southeastern sections of our viewing area. Southern, say Deweyville, Orange, Bridge City, Port Arthur, Sabine Pass. Best chance off towards our east. Here's one model. I like it. I think it does a pretty good job, but you can see 40s and 50s, mainly for the triangle, as the storm moves ashore in through eastern Cameron Parish, and then that's what we're going with. This is the worst case scenario, the highest wind speeds that I could see possible, 30s, maybe 40-mile-per-hour winds, probably not even that, over towards Votah, the other side of Coons, Woodville, Cominille. 40 to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, worst case scenario, Lumberton, Silsbee, Beaumont, Jasper, up towards Burkeville and Winnie. And then when you get over towards Deweyville, maybe Mauriceville, Orange, Bridge City, Nederland, Port Arthur, and back over towards Sabine Pass. Worst case scenario, 50, maybe higher. That's what we're looking at right now. As far as storm surge, this is along the coastline, 2 to 4 foot over towards, say, Jefferson County coast, 3 to 5 between Sabine Pass and over towards Cameron, obviously higher off towards our east. And as you can see, look at that, 9 feet above the ground. That's how high the water will be when it reaches Cameron. Now, you can see some inundation. This is how much the water will be pushed inland from the storm surge over what is normally dry land or marshland. As you can see, not bad. 1, 2, and then 2, probably 3 feet over towards Sabine Pass. This white area is the seawall that protects Port Arthur. That's the storm surge. Flash flood watches, Jefferson County, Orange County, Jasper, and Newton counties. That means a little too much, too fast, but I think we're in good shape as far as this goes. Look at this, just over an inch to maybe an inch and a half, just the other side of Woodville, back over towards Devers, and then let's see, back over towards, let's see, that's 7, 5, 4, maybe 5 inches along the Sabine River. Orange, maybe 5. That's what we're looking at. We can handle this. We actually need the rainfall. Right now, still watching weakening feeder band coming on into, looks like Sabine Pass, looks like Mid-County, Bridge City, getting ready to see some rain coming in. So here's Futurecast, and it looks like the weather will be deteriorating as we head towards the morning hours, and especially during towards daybreak and the morning hours. We'll start to see those feeder bands work on in off the Gulf of Mexico. And at this point, it looks like during the late afternoon hours, early evening hours, we will see the worst of it here in the triangle. This may be a little bit fast, but I'm expecting anywhere between about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, and then things start rapidly improving as the storm moves quickly off to the north and east. This is not going to be a staller, okay? This is going to move very quickly. Again, this is what we're expecting county by county. Winds of 40, maybe some gusts to 55 miles an hour, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall possible. Orange County, 40 with some gusts maybe to 55, and 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. We can handle this. Over towards Hardin County, 20, maybe some gusts possible to 45. That still may be high. Rainfall, not an issue. We can handle it in Chambers County, 20 to maybe 40. That's going to be a stretch. Again, it's the clean side of the storm. We're on the western side from everything I'm hoping right now. Tyler County, 20, 30, maybe some gusts to 40. And over in Jasper, okay, up north, some winds of 30 miles an hour. South could be a little stronger, up 45, some gusts there. Otherwise, in Newton County, it's such a long county. The closer you are south, you'll see higher winds, obviously. Otherwise, a good chance of rain, especially by morning. Here in the triangle, some gusts of 20, maybe 25, and then for tomorrow. Locally heavy rainfall. It's going to be a windy day. with some gusts, particularly in the triangle, around 50, maybe 55 miles an hour. And by Saturday morning, things will be rapidly improving. And I think by daybreak, we'll see some sun, maybe a 20% coverage of showers. So that's the very latest on Hurricane Delta. We're going to take your questions. But right now, we are seeing signs that this may strengthen just a little bit stronger.
Starting at the top here, anticipations of power outages, particularly along the Sabine River.
Yes, I think that's a pretty good chance.
What happens if the storm doesn't veer eastward? Will we have much warning here?
I've shown this model consensus. Did I show it? Dadgummit. Forgot to put that in my show. I apologize. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When we talk about model consensus, it means I'm going to show the ensemble of the models. And what that tells me right here is we have the forecast is for the storm to turn to the north and northeast. That's what we're saying. We don't think it's going to affect, well, let me revise that. We don't think it's going to directly move into southeast Texas. We think it's going to turn to the north and northeast. Why? Because we're looking at the forecast tracks. These are what you call outliers, okay? Those are unlikely, so we throw those out. We go with the bulk of the models. And as you can see, the average, or where most of the tracks lie, is in through Cameron Parish. So our confidence that this is going to occur and not affect southeast Texas is relatively moderate and improving the closer we get to landfall. We're 24 hours away from landfall. It's unlikely at this point that we will see the eye go over, say, Sabine Pass or Beaumont. It's unlikely at this point. So our confidence is that this is going to head towards southwest Louisiana. Did I answer that question? I hope I did.
You see, someone asking if you happen to know at what point do they shut down the Rainbow Bridge?
I don't know. I don't want to hazard to guess that either.
And people asking about evacuation orders, if you happen to know.
I do know there's a voluntary for Port Arthur and for Pleasure Island. I believe there are mandatory evacuations for Calcasieu Parish, obviously for Cameron Parish. Can't remember about Orange, whether or not Orange was seeing some evacuations. That's what I know at this point. Any other questions?
Let me take another look here.
Also notice that the width of the cone of uncertainty is getting smaller. We're getting closer to landfall.
Someone was commenting about the name Hurricane Delta. Can you just talk briefly about why we have these names?
Okay, we ran out of names. The 2020 list was exhausted. We have 21 names each season that are repeated every 6 years unless a storm becomes a historical storm like a Rita or a Katrina or a Camille or an Allen or a Michael. Those names are retired because of the death and destruction, basically. When you talk about Hurricane Katrina, everybody knows what happened with Hurricane Katrina that hit in 2005. When we talk about Hurricane Rita, we know what happened with that storm. When we talk about Hurricane Camille, 69, we know what happened. Those are retired. So those lists are constantly added to, and they're rotated every 6 years. We ran out of names. This is the only time that this has only happened before was in 2005. So this is a historical hurricane season. So now we're having to use the Greek letters of the alphabet. We've already had alpha, beta, gamma, delta. The next name would be epsilon. So that's why we're on delta. And no, we will probably not exhaust the Roman alphabet. I really hope not, because I don't want to continue doing this past January. Like what we did in 2005, by the way. That's a possibility. They were out in the open Atlantic, though.
A couple of people asking about tornado threats.
Tornado threat on the west side, I won't say it's impossible. It's hard to do. It's mainly eastern side. That's why we like the west side of the storm. I would expect tomorrow afternoon, when you turn your television on and watch us, you'll see a tornado watch over in towards Lafayette, Lake Charles, Cameron. It'll include Acadiana. That's what's going to happen tomorrow on the right side.
Can you go back to the county by county breakdown?
Okay.
Got several people asking about their particular areas.
Let's see. Now, again, this is a worst case scenario that I have. Oh, come on. Worst case scenario, I want to have a little bit of wiggle room because of the uncertainty as far as how the storm structure looks. Oops. Okay, Jefferson County, I'm very confident we'll see some 40-mile-per-hour winds. Possibility of 55. It's probably the upper end, and it may be too high in my forecast. 40 to 50 is pretty good numbers. With Lily in 2002, it came in as a Cat 1, hit over in Vermilion Parish. We had 40-mile-per-hour winds in Beaumont. This is going to be a Cat 3. We'll be on the western side. Yeah, I think 40, 50. I think that's, I don't think that's excessive. I think that's reasonable. I like that forecast. Orange County, was there a specific county?
Yeah, there were a couple of people asking about Orange, asking about Hemp Hill.
40 to 50 in Orange, maybe some 55s. I think that's the top end, the worst case. I would expect 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, maybe some 50s. That's what we're looking at. Hardin County, 20, 25, maybe some gusts to 45. Again, the second number is the worst case. Some of the wind gusts. Over towards Tyler, 20 to 40. Again, I'm going to include a wide span because of the uncertainty. Give myself a little wiggle room. Jasper's a long county. The closer you are to the coastline, the worse the weather will be. So if you're up in Jasper, some 30s. If you're into, let's say, southern Jasper County, south of Buna, 40, maybe 45. This is reasonable numbers. It's what is possible. Again, Newton County, maybe some 50, and that's south. All right, who's next?
Someone asking, wasn't Laura expected to land more closer to Port Arthur and then it shifted?
Sure.
This one
Hey,
saying?
that's what we're looking at. I can only go, I'm a human being. I can only go with model data. And, you know, let's see. This is what we're looking at. I showed the consensus. Oh, come here. It's called a forecast. They're not perfect. Let's see, did I have it after this? Let's see. Let's see if my show has it. Is it before then? Heading. There we go. Okay. I don't know another way how to tell you, you know, that's what we're looking at. I don't know what else to do. That's where we think it's going to go. This is the most reasonable forecast. Could it shift to the west? I hope not. It's possible, sure. It could shift to the east. But again, I think in through just east of Cameron, if you look at the number of model tracks, most of them say eastern Cameron. We basically take these outliers, we disregard them. Back over here, we disregard them. And you look at the average or where most of them are, and it's looking like Cameron Parish. I don't know what else to say. That's the best assessment at this time.
How many hours will tropical storm force winds last? when they do
That's
come
something
in?
I have not had time to dig into. My best estimate is that here in the triangle, we could see, well, let's do it this way. Pardon me. Let's go back to the forecast animation, and let's do it this way. All right, put this into motion. Let's see, this will be, that is at 1 p.m., 12, 11, 10, mid-morning. Let's see. Yeah. I'd say mid-morning, maybe daybreak towards Sabine Pass. This is probably, this is 1 p.m., so, and it will be moving at 15 miles per hour. So, 45, yes, 4 would be 64 from, let's see, 1 p.m. Yeah, I'd say 8 to 9 a.m. along the coastline. Where is this person asking about? Where are they located? That's what I need to know. Okay, so between 8 and 9 a.m., it reaches the coastline. And then it's gone out of Sabine Pass. There's 1 a.m. That's a good question. This is helping me do my work right now. So it's we're going to assume 15, 16, 17 miles. Let's see. 12. Looking at 12. I'd say probably 14, 15 hours at the worst. Let's see. No, not, what am I saying? Let's see, 8 a.m. $12 hours would be 8 p.m. I'd say 15, 16 hours, worst case scenario. Any other questions?
Yeah, let me see here. There was one more. Any sort of front or anything in the next week to keep other stuff coming this way, just keep it away?
Monday night into Tuesday, we have our next cold front.
And
lows in the 50s, by the way.
do you think this is, or does this look like it might be the last big storm that we're going to see this season?
With this season, I'm not going to pronounce the season over with. Hurricane season officially goes through November. Surprises have happened this season, and surprises are still possible. Normally, I would say I don't like to wait until October 1st to pronounce the season over for the Gulf of Mexico. I'd like to wait through mid-October because I base that on what happened in 1989 when Jerry moved over towards the west end of Galveston Island. This season, Texas, let me put it this way. Since 1851, only 3 hurricanes have ever struck the Lone Star State. That's why climatology is a big thing in this particular storm. That's why it's probably going to go and stay out of the state as far as a direct hit. And probably we won't see anything. That's usually what happens. We start getting these recurves off to the north and east because of fronts. And what's happening is instead of subtropical highs that cause east and southeasterly winds over the Gulf of Mexico, we start getting the winds to turn more westerly. And that's why these storms come in from the southeast, but then they turn back to the northeast, the recurves. That's what usually happens in October. And November, I don't believe there's ever been a hurricane to ever strike the Lone Star State in November. So let's give it a few more weeks. Any other questions?
Here's one. Right now, most of the convection canopy of the storm is located to the west and southwest of the center of circulation. What do you think are the chances it remains configured that way when it moves through here?
Repeat the question. I got to think about this. This is a good question.
The configuration having the convection canopy located to the west and southwest of the center of circulation.
It's interesting that that has aligned that way. What is going to happen is that as the storm continues to move north in latitude, it'll start feeling a southwest flow because of an approaching shortwave. So there will be increasing southwesterly shear. So it's interesting to me that there is more of a canopy over the southwest center, which is interesting. So there was maybe less shear from the northeast. Regardless, as this continues to gain latitude, we will start to see more of a southwesterly shear. In other words, the winds will be more out of the southwest. So that would indicate to me that we would start seeing those tops being blown off towards the north and the east as it starts to gain latitude. So no, I don't think that'll be the same configuration as it moves into the northern and northwestern Gulf of Mexico.
Let's see.
At least that's what I think. We good? We done? No other questions? Last chance, last call for any questions.
Is it possible it'll tilt more towards Texas still?
Okay, let's take a look at it again. Let's see, where is that graphic? Yep. At this point, I'm going to say it's very unlikely because of this right here. We base all of our forecasts on computer models. They do a good job of guessing what Mother Nature is going to do. Again, you're looking at probably some of these what we call outliers. Those may be bad model runs. Same thing over towards Lafourche Parish. Those are probably bad model runs. It's unlikely, very unlikely, that this will go into Texas looking at this model data. Where would you think it would go? Probably in Louisiana, right? That's what we're going with. It just does not look like that is going to be the case. We've got an approaching shortwave, trough of low pressure into Texas, southwest flow aloft, high pressure over my, so what is that? This is my left shoulder over towards eastern sections of the Gulf of Mexico, and it is rounding the western flank of that. The consensus is that it's going to southwest Louisiana. Any other questions? All right, folks, this is the very latest that we have, and of course we'll have the 10 o'clock forecast coming up tonight on 12 News at 10. Hope you'll enjoy or join us with that, and we'll keep on tabs and watching this and bringing the very latest as far as that goes. Hopefully we don't get any surprises. Right now, I think that's a slim chance. I feel good about this forecast because of the upper level pattern and the steering currents that we're looking at. And that's where we'll leave it. Download our app, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, there's more weather at 12newsnow.com.